Hi there, this is Judy with Paper Palm Tree, and it's been a while since I've made a video. I have been working on some projects for my son's wedding that is coming up in October, and thought it was time to get in here and share with you some of the things that we've been doing. So I wanted to share with you it's a 3.5-inch brown box that I made, and I've made this so that he could put his groomsmen's ties in there as a gift when he presents the ties. And I really liked it. It turned out really nice. So let me show you how I came up with how I did this. I had to break this down into two separate pieces because the finished product is, let's see, it should go that way. The finished project is 15 inches wide. So I had ordered, excuse my reach, I had ordered this cardstock from Amazon, and it's a 100-pound weight called Brown Box, and it's pretty thick, and that's really what I was looking for. I think any other craft paper that I had just didn't hold up to the Brown Box feel that I was looking for. But because the template turned out so wide, I thought I could get one box in a 12 by 12, but that was before I did the template. After I did the template, I realized it's going to take 1.5 sheets of this 12 by 12. But it's really good paper to work with. So here's how I came up in this process of what I had to get the template. Probably was much harder than it needed to be. I just had a hard time figuring out what I wanted it to do. But this is where the part that I put adhesive on that connects the two pieces together. So 5.5, and just make sure that's right. I think that's what I did there. See why it took me so long to get this template together? Once I did get the template the way I wanted it, I, mass-produced the pieces that I was doing for the neckties. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, that's at 8.5, not 8. So I'm going to correct that while I'm on there. 8.5. Okay, let me try that right there. I hate messing up on those pieces of paper because it is expensive, but so yeah, so that's what that's going to look like. So that's the first piece. I'll set that aside, and the next piece is 7 inches by 10.5. So let me get one more piece of this paper out. I got this cardstock thinking I would make more of the craft things that I was doing for the wedding out of this, because the wedding's an outdoor wedding, and we're trying to get that, the trends now are kind of craft paper and, I don't know, woodsy looking stuff. But this is the one that he liked for the ties, so that's why I stuck with this. Okay, so this piece is going to be 10.5 inches. All right, there. And the shorter side is 7 inches. There we go. Let me make sure that that measurement fits that. It does. Perfect. Okay, so while I've got this one out, let's do the score lines. The short side, which is the 7-inch, is going to be scored at 3.5 inches. And then this is how I do my templates. I usually write what the cut piece is going to be, and then the first S is score short side 3.5, score long side 3.5 by 7. It's kind of just my own code to figure it out later if I'm doing more, All right, so let me get out my scoreboard. And like I said, here's the short and here's the long. So the short side is at 3.5. And because it's, wow. Because this is really thick, it can kind of take a couple of, well, that keeps going off track there. But I'm going to cut part of that off, so that'll be okay. So I'm going to turn it to the long side, and I'm going to do it at 3.5 and 7. The first pass, I guess I just need to do a little slower, make sure it doesn't run off of the track. And the second score line is at 7. Here we go. Alright, set that aside. Let me get back to the other piece. And this is the 5.5 by 8.5. The short side is 1 and 4.5 inches. So here's 1 and 4.5. And the long side is 1, 4.5, and 8. So 1, 4.5, and then 8. And that short side is this flap that I do the adhesive on to put the two pieces together. Okay. So let me work on just this one side. So we're going to take and fold the score lines, grab my bone folder. And because it's a box and this paper is really nice and thick, you got to make sure you really crease the score lines nicely, or else it won't look very professional. And here's the flap. And one more. Alright, so what do we cut on this? I am going to, let me get my pen out and mark it so you can see. Writing pen. Okay. So I'm going to cut away this this top square here. There's a little rectangle right here. That's going to go, and that's going to go, and that's going to go. Okay, and so then we're going to cut up that line and up that line, and once I get these lines cut, I'm just going to eyeball this one because it's really about the 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, but that's going to have the adhesive on it, so it doesn't have to be so precise. So just about halfway there is what I'm going to do. So let me grab my scissors. And how I do my boxes is I like to do up the sides first. And because this box is very crisp, you got to make sure you get the wedges in the connecting parts, because and it can be ever so slightly, but it makes a big difference. And you know, the first few boxes I made, I thought, you know, it's not that big a deal. It really is. And your finished product really shows those seams if you don't do the wedges. So I'm going to take this off right here. Again, just a shallow wedge right there, and one more right there. And then up this, I'll go straight up. Now, this still needs to have just a slight wedge right there. And I'm going to do the same over here. That. And then this piece, which is the cut out. I still need the wedge on it, and I'm going to do that before I cut the lengthwise. It just really makes a difference. Okay, so on this, you could measure it and score it, but I'm just going to eyeball it. So about halfway into that, because it's a glued section, and you're not gonna see it. So get this side done. Oops, there we go. All right, so here is the finished side. I'll set that aside and let me bring that other one in. And this I did the same thing, just an eyeball there. So I'm going to take, actually it's this piece is coming off to about there, and this piece is coming off to about there. So let me score it first. This way. And down the center. I don't know why, I've done lots and lots of boxes, and I don't know why this large one really, I had to redo it so many times just to get it right. But I'm happy with the results. Okay, so here's this template, and we're going to come up the short side all the way up. You can see where I came off of the track on that scoreboard. And if that matters to you, just go slow. And another thing that I figured out is if you put a little bit of your oils from your fingers before you run that down, it seems to help me a little bit. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm going to cut to where I've done just that little 1/4 inch. That's, again, where I'm going to put the adhesive. And that one's done. Let's see if I can do this one. Alright, so the last thing I want to do is on these flaps here, I'm still going to do just a small little wedge to get that nice and clean on the ends. When you're doing a lot of boxes, it's a hassle to get that wedge in there, but I'm telling you, I learned my lessons. Do one more over here. Okay, so here is the second side. So we're done with the 2 templates. And before I put this together, this is the short side here is what I'm going to put the adhesive on this, and I want that to be on the inside of the box, so it will go right there. But before I do that, I'm going to do, this is the top of the box where it comes down, and I want those edges with the corner rounds on it. Grab my corner rounder. And these 3 flaps are what goes on the inside here as you open it. So this is thick cardstock, so it takes a little muscle to get that cut with this. Goodness. I probably want to do that one. Better. And I just got this little inexpensive corner rounder, and I don't know if that's the problem or if it's just because this paper's thick, but make it happen that way. Alright, so this again will be glued to the inside, and these 2 flaps will be glued on that side, and then it's going to come up and flap inside. So all these flaps have to go to the inside of the box. So this flap is going to go right there. Hold it down just a second, it'll dry clear. There. And then these flaps, these 4 flaps here will be on the inside also, just like that one. So do this one and this one. Hold it a second. And right there, over. Let's see. You can see it better there. Right there. All right, you see it coming together. He's got, how many groomsmen in this? I think he's got 4, and my brother, who is a preacher, is going to be marrying them. So I did an extra box so that we could put a tie in for my brother. So I've done 5 boxes for this wedding. All right, so let's do that. Right there. There and right there. All right, the last thing that I want to do is put a little finger hold. Make sure that fits. It does. So I'm going to put a little 1/2 inch. No, it's not true. It's a 1-inch punch, but I'm doing half of it. So kind of just eyeball it, and it doesn't even have to be halfway up. Just, you know, maybe a 1/3. Like that. Well, I didn't get it centered, so try that again. Right there. And that's okay. Alright, so it goes down in there like this. And there's the box. And I just love this box, and I love the cardstock that I used on that. So the ties fit down nicely. I put some of this crinkle paper in there. I think he liked tissue paper wrapped around the tie better. I did find that if you're going to use this for a tie, is as you roll it, I put a rubber band around it so it doesn't fall out when it's in there, so it really has a good presentation. I'd seen this box on Pinterest, and somebody had used it. It was really cute, and they had put on the top of it for the groomsmen to help me tie the knot. Now, I don't know if they had, I don't know what size box they had, but this was an idea that I found off of Pinterest. Like everything else I do, it's I always find inspiration there. But really great box, and it could be made for, you know, could be made just a little bit smaller, but with the size of the tie, and by the time you put all that stuff in there, I liked the 3.5. So this ends up being a 3.5 inch square. So that's it. He had liked putting the note to the guys on the inside, and I think he's not going to use tie the knot on his, but you could dress it up anyway, tie it with a jute, or you know, some kind of ribbon that matches the color scheme for the wedding, or this box could be used for so many other things, but it's very cute, and I hope you enjoy it. So if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more, I've got several other craft projects that I'm going to be doing for the wedding that I want to film and share with you. So yeah, there we go. So until next time, bye.